Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live stream. I'm feeling festive, and Hudson's also here to join us for the live stream. Hello to everybody who is in the chat. I'm taking a cruise very, very soon, and I'm very excited about it. It is a brand new cruise line launched in May of this year, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be very interesting. Either it will go very, very well, which is fantastic, or it won't, and that's a fantastic story to tell you guys. So I will be doing that. Jonathan says, I can't believe there's two different Dennis the Menaces. And also we have other comments related to this. Matt says, the Beano Club is out of this world. So recently I shared a picture of me on my first cruise and I was wearing a Beano t-shirt. It said Beano, out of this world. I didn't realize that not everybody knew what Beano was. It's a comic. It has our Dennis the Menace, but there are different Dennises, the Menaces. Hudson's licking the sofa. Fantastic. But yes, Hudson is back on the Dreamies. Yes, Owen. Hello, Owen. It is nice to see you. He is back on his Dreamies, and he really likes them. You can have a couple more, Hudson, just because Owen said so. Ow! Get off my leg. Okay, right. A couple more, and then that's it. That's why he's licking the sofa. But we're just going to do a general cruise Q&A today. If you have any questions about cruising, if you can start your comment with question in capital letters, it makes it easier for me to pick out what is a question. I'm just making sure that this lid is secure, or Hudson will knock it over, won't you, Hudson? And then we'll have Dreamies all over the floor. So yes. And hello to anybody who is watching this on the replay as well. But the majority of people who watch these don't watch them live. They watch them on the replay. So hello if you are watching this on the replay. We've got Stephen from Canada. Hello, Stephen from Canada. We've got Francisco. Hello, Francisco. David loves my jumper. Thank you so much. And Jonathan says your hair is getting so long. We're getting there now. Yes, it looks like I chose this haircut, I suppose. I did shave my hair off in May. If you haven't seen that video is on my channel. Okay, so this is a perfect example of a question that makes it so easy for me. It is short. It starts with question in capital letters. So thank you so much, Ruby. Who do you cruise with typically? I tend to rotate round who I cruise with. My family, I'm very, very lucky. They like to cruise. They took me on my first cruise. And sometimes they still want to cruise with me, which is brilliant. So I cruise with them. Sometimes I'll cruise with my brother. I've taken some friends on cruises. And sometimes I cruise, not with Hudson. He doesn't come on cruises, but with my other half, Jono. So it rotates around, which is very cool. Claude says, I'm responsible for a passport, but who arranges all the visas? You are absolutely responsible for all the visas. You are absolutely responsible. The cruise line will help you, but do not rely on the cruise line. It is not uncommon for somebody to get to a country. They'll be denied boarding on the cruise if they don't have the right visas for the certain places that you're going to. So it's on you. It is on you. Hello, Jackie. It's nice to see you. Hello, Jason from Illinois. Very nice. People from all over the world here. Is there anything you don't like about cruising, such as the bad coffee on NCL? I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. Like, never finished a cup of coffee. I've tried plenty. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. The thing I miss is toast. I've never found a cruise line that does toast the same way I do at home. And also I really miss my bath. I'm definitely on team bath rather than team shower. So they're the things I miss. Of course I miss my cat Hudson, but the coffee thing doesn't bother me in the slightest. This is a really good question, and I get this asked a lot, and I totally understand why. But John says, how come in some of your videos you have long hair, then short hair? If you look at the beginning of my channel, I had long hair, then short hair, then long hair, then short hair, and now we're back here. I have shaved my hair off twice for charity, and my channel shows the stages of it going back. There's a few wig videos in there too, so sometimes it'll be even longer than it ever has been. But you can I can date things now by looking at how long my hair was. How long was that after I shaved it? Was it the first time? Was it the second time? Thanks for the comments about my Christmas jumper, my Christmas sweater. Jumper is a Britishism, of course, meaning sweater, hoodie, cardigan. Jumper is like an umbrella term for anything that's kind of between a t-shirt and a coat. It's a jumper. This is a jumper, Christmas jumper. I think this was the best Primark could offer a couple of years ago. Do travel agents guide customers about visas? Yes, absolutely. That's a massive, massive perk of using a travel agent. They will know this stuff. So yeah, if you have a good travel agent, if you're in the UK, the US, or Canada, you can book through me. And you're still responsible for yourself, of course, but they'll make it as easy as possible. I know my agent Emma often sends me things with emails with things highlighted, like, Emma, you need to read this. So it is very, very helpful. Going on my first cruise next year, and I have 8 sea days. What activities do you do to fill the day when at sea? Oh my goodness, 8 sea days. I've never done a cruise with more than 4 sea days, and that was 4 sea days that were not intentional. That was due to bad weather. We couldn't dock, and most of my sea days rotate around food, and I think that's common for a lot of people on cruises. You'd be surprised just how full your day can get just with things like, I just go to trivia, I go to the game shows, sometimes I'll bring card games, watch a movie in the afternoon, go for a swim, just chill out. It depends on the cruise line, of course. Some cruise lines will have really busy schedules, and some will have, there's one thing happening at a time. Yes. Mark says, is the dress code important? It depends on the cruise line. If you try and take a Cunard cruise, which I think has the strictest dress codes of any cruise line I know, and you try and ignore the dress codes, you're going to get in big trouble. It doesn't work. But if you're taking a cruise with a cruise line like Norwegian, I just came off the Norwegian Sun, dress codes are not really a thing. They don't have formal nights. There's one restaurant where you have to wear trousers instead of shorts, but that's about it. And I'm sure you could get in wearing shorts anyway. Hello to Tom and Dom. It is nice to see you. And Dale says Emma Otter is amazing. She is. She often comes into these live streams. So if she's here, she'll like your comment. Thank you, Dale. Oh, plenty of things to do besides swimming. Yes, I normally don't swim when I go on cruises. Yeah, not really. So yes, totally true. Mark says, discovered YouTube live chat works at sea, but not the video. So this is basically a podcast then for anyone who's at sea, which is pretty cool, pretty cool. If you are a newbie, would you recommend Azamara Cruises? And do you like that line? So I just took my first Azamara cruise. If you haven't seen my Azamara video about the cruise, definitely check that out after this live stream. It was fantastic. It's very, very different from cruising on the big ships. And for me, it was quite a change. It's a lot more relaxed, talking about the kind of relaxed schedule. There's not that much happening. The Azamara cruise I took, there wasn't a theater. So the entertainment obviously isn't it's not going to be big Broadway style musicals, but it's just a more relaxed cruise. If you're somebody who likes eating, the food on Azamara is fantastic, and it is the best vegetarian and vegan food I've ever found on any cruise, ever. If you're vegetarian and vegan and you want to eat, just go on an Azamara cruise. That's it. I think just Primark, this jumper. I did work in Primark for a couple of years, and every time I go back into Primark, I think, how on earth did I do this? I went in a supermarket recently, and I used to work in Asda. If you're in the UK, you know what Asda is, on the self-scan. And I used to do it over Christmas in a reindeer onesie. And I just think, how did I do that? It's so stressful. But yes, I did it. If a cruise includes airfare, is it typical that they get you in on the same day as the cruise is scheduled departure? Yes, normally. Some travel agents or cruise lines will give you the option to fly and stay for a day, or fly and stay for 3 days. Sometimes you can upgrade your cruise and stay before. But if you're booking a cruise as part of a package with the cruise line, you'll normally go straight from the airplane to the transfer to the cruise. And you don't really need to worry about if it's, delayed, because you've booked it all through the cruise line. It's their problem. It's not your problem. When I'm doing this myself, if I've got, certain different airlines and cruises, I'll fly in the day before. But if it's, if I booked it through Emma Otter, it's a package, they're going to sort it out for me. So yes. Ruby says, how good is the Wi-Fi on cruises? Could you work remotely while on a cruise ship? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, and it's almost impossible to say. You can't just say, oh, these cruise ships have good Wi-Fi, these ones have bad Wi-Fi. It depends where you are, but generally it's not fantastic. I struggle to do a lot of my work. I have to kind of do a lot of things offline that normally I would use the internet for, and I have to leave a lot of things. Sometimes I'll do voice calls on Zoom instead of video, because video just doesn't work. So it depends. You can get really, really lucky, but I wouldn't really want to rely on it, because it's just so unreliable. There we go. How do the P&O shows compare to Marella? I like Marella's shows a lot. They're my favorite. And I like P&O shows as well. From memory, P&O tend to have, they've got Astonishing, the big magic show on their ships. And they have a couple of other like show team shows, singing, dancing, costumes, set changes, stuff like that I really like. And they're really good. The difference I think is that with Morella, you get a different show every single day. And it's normally the same show team that do that show. So I took a 14-night cruise with Morella in 2018, a long time ago. That's when I did my first head shave. And there was a different show every single night of the cruise. When you go on a big cruise line like Norwegian or you go on Royal Caribbean and they've got like a signature show, that's often on multiple days so that everybody can see it. But that means that once you've seen it, you don't need to go, you don't go again. So that's really the difference. Thank you so much to Sean and all of my moderators in the chat who are looking after this chat. I would not dare to come near a live on YouTube without you guys. You make this possible, so we appreciate it. Stephen says, how was the Norwegian Sun? We're on her in 2024. She was fantastic. She was lovely. Very, very different from the other Norwegian ships, but we had a fantastic cruise. My video, just out of frame here, here's my computer. It is rendering the video. It's rendering my video, and it will be available for the Patreons and channel members with early access this evening. I'm just going to check it one last time, and then it will be available for you guys. And if the Patreons and channel members don't see any problems with it, which quite often they do, they're my first line of defense, it'll be available for everybody on Monday. Normally I do at least 24 hours early access, but if it's over a weekend, then they get a couple of days. So if you want early access to it, there should be a join button here. You can press join, or it'll be available on Monday for everybody, providing it's okay. You know, I kind of edit this. I've edited it for about 3 days and I'm so far into it, I could be saying anything. It doesn't sound like words to me anymore. You know what I mean? So we'll see. On Cunard, is there a dress code expectation to wear formal clothing in the day? No, they're the most strict on their dress codes, but in the day, as long as you're dressed, if you're, you know, you can't wear anything that's offensive with like offensive slogans on it. But apart from that, you wear shorts and t-shirts, you wear jeans, you wear normal clothes. And when it hits 6 p.m., 6 p.m. is the cutoff on Cunard. That's when the dress codes come into force, and they do pretty much ship-wide. On a lot of cruise lines, the dress codes are just in the main dining room, but on Cunard, it's, you know, you can't go to the theatre in the evening without being dressed up. And to me, at the minute, jeans are dressing up. Because it's cold here, it's snowing. I'm normally wearing like jogging bottoms. I'm wearing pajamas when I'm at home. So yeah, that's not Cunard's definition, not at all. I saw this question and I thought, would you ever take an Antarctic cruise? I have that question quite a lot. Like, that's a normal question. If so, would you hug a penguin? I don't think a penguin would want me to hug it. So probably not. But Antarctic, sure, maybe one day. Jonathan says 400 watching and 100 thumbs up. It only takes a second. Yes, it does. It only takes a second and it really helps. Yes. Kevin, thank you so much, Kevin. My moderators have the power to share links. So this is the link if you want to book a cruise through me. I work with Emma and travel counselors in the UK, and I have a new agency I'm working with in the US, which is very exciting. I've learned so much about the US cruise booking market, and it is different from here in the UK. I knew it was different, but it's more different than I thought. I'm just getting my cup of tea. Do you know what I did before this live stream? I went to get Hudson's Dreamies in the kitchen and stood in something wet. And I've got like a wet sock, which is the worst, isn't it? I know it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not nice. It is not nice. What has been your most expensive cruise so far? Expensive cruise that I've paid for, or if we're taking it like price per night, I took a Viking cruise, a press trip for 3 days, and that's the most expensive. But that's not something I would really pay for. The cruise I took in Asia is probably the most expensive because the airfare is very, very expensive over there. I'd love to get back, but it's a long way away. It's a long way away. Gary says, new subscriber, found you when the YouTube algorithm suggested your videos after I watched Titanic content. That seems to be a way in. That's the thing about YouTube, isn't it? You kind of go down these holes and you end up watching things that you didn't even know existed. And I love it. I really, really love it. So thank you. Thank you so much. Louise says, what would you recommend for a budget / cheaper Northern Lights cruise? That's tricky because Northern Lights cruises are pretty expensive. Most cruise lines don't cruise in Norway in the winter. Hurtigruten is the main one that do. There's a couple of new cruise lines I've seen kind of coming out recently, but I don't really know much about them because they haven't come out yet. And some cruise lines like Celebrity do Northern Lights cruises, but they're pretty expensive. I do have more information about Northern Lights. If you go on my website, type in Northern Lights, I have some suggestions on there. Past me last year knew a little bit more about this, but it's not one of the cheapest ones. I would probably be looking at doing a normal cruise line, like a mainstream cruise line that goes to Norway in winter, rather than Hurtigruten. Pretty expensive. It's cool though, but pretty expensive. Can you bring an empty water bottle on board? Yes, you can. You can, and you can even bring a water bottle full of water on a cruise. I often think I've been in situations before where I get ready to go through security to get on a cruise, and I think it's like an airport where you have to get rid of it. It's not like that. It's really not. Most cruise lines have different rules about what drinks you can bring on board, but I almost always have like a reusable water bottle, like a plastic water bottle, half full of water. No one's gonna look at that. That's totally cool. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. That is appreciated. Hello, Lizzie. It is nice to see you, Lizzie. Tom and Dom say, do you take Christmas decorations on a cruise? I took a couple of very small decorations when I went on a Christmas cruise over Christmas. Yes. If I was not going over Christmas, then maybe not. But even still, only tiny, tiny, tiny. What are you asking Father Christmas for this year? Father Christmas, I think, is something that, is it a Britishism? It's something that we say here, but Santa seems to be the taking over Father Christmas, as far as I can tell. I don't know. I haven't really asked for anything for Christmas this year. I don't know. I think it's different Christmas when you're an adult, isn't it? When you're a child, it's so exciting. But whereas now I'll just buy most things. If I want this jumper, I'm going to buy it. So it's a bit different. I haven't asked for anything. No, I haven't asked for anything. There we go. Nothing for Christmas, and that's fine. Tom says, would you rather go on a line with tech that does not necessarily work all of the time, or a cruise line with no tech? So I read this question as, would I rather go on a cruise with Princess, where the tech is fantastic and it works 50% of the time, or no tech, like Azamara had no tech, for example? I don't know. I really, really like technology on cruise ships. I love being able to order a drink to me. I love all of that stuff. I love being able to get into my room with my medallion. It is frustrating when it doesn't work, though. I think I would still take 50% of the time. I think I would, yes. It depends if you need it. That's the thing. Sometimes you don't need it. It's just a kind of addition, and that's good. That is good. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. I thought I got to the bottom of my comments. I was mistaken. It has jumped right down to the bottom. Oh my gosh. Oh, by the way, if anyone is looking for solo cruises, I found so many amazing solo deals recently. Cruising on, P&O in the next couple of months, cruising with Costa in the next couple of months. I can't believe it. It's crazy. Yeah. If anyone wants to buy me a Christmas present, I take a 7-night Mediterranean cruise. Of course, that would be nice. But probably I will go back to getting what I like to get. My default things would be, pajamas, chocolate, bath bombs. I'm very happy with that. That is very good. What has been your favorite cruise activity ever on any cruise, e.g. rock climbing, ice skating, etc.? I think doing the skydive on Royal Caribbean is one of my favorite activities. I was so nervous. So they have a skydiving simulator, and it's one of those ones where you don't fall, you go on the air and you float. And I was so scared. And it's 30 seconds. You only get 30 seconds on it each, but it was amazing. I'm so glad that I did it. So something like that, yes. Oh my goodness. If you can try and keep your questions shorter, it massively increases the chance of me being able to answer them, because I can't kind of pause and read during these live streams, because it's just really boring for you guys to watch me just read. Cruise Monkeys, hello Cruise Monkeys. Ripcord, yeah, that's what it's called. Ripcord, I Fly, Ripcord, very, very cool. Anna has asked the question. Hello, Anna. She says, when is your next cruise? So it is on Sunday. Very, very exciting. And I'm taking a cruise with Ambassador. So this is the new British cruise line. Yes, I don't know what to expect from it. It is a cruise line that I probably wouldn't have booked if it wasn't for this channel. It even says on the website, we're aiming at over 50s, which is fine. But it's not a cruise line that I would necessarily go to cruise with if it wasn't for this. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really fun. And I'm only on for a couple of days. So It's enough time to kind of work out what happens, what's the routine like, what's the entertainment like, what's the food like, and it will be really good to tell you about it. So that's the main thing for me. It'll be good story, I think. Thank you, Todd, for my super chat. And he says, just a huge thank you. Thank you so much, Todd, for all of your great information and entertaining videos. You help us that can't cruise all the time get through difficult days. Oh, thank you so much. That is the same for me. I mean, it's a bit different for me now. I don't work in an office in the way that I used to, but I always used to have my MSC Stress cruise ship on the top of my screen with dates on it. And then every day I would like move it 1 millimeter towards the next cruise. So yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really interested in Ambassador. It's kind of like I they don't want to be called the new CMV, but I would go as far as to say the new CMV. Oh, Hudson's back. Hey, Hudson. Hudson has honestly, he had his tooth out of the dentist, and since then he's just become so much more I don't want to say annoying, but like in my like constantly. It's so funny. Jenny says, why are there loads of Norway cruises but limited Baltic cruises? I think a lot of cruise lines have cancelled or moved their Baltic cruises when they removed Russia from their itineraries. So that's a reason. Also, I mean, Norway's just easy. It's very profitable for them. I see why they all go there. Yeah, I understand. I love Baltic cruises too. I've taken a couple of Baltic cruises. What cruise line has your favorite tea time on a cruise? What makes for good tea time? Tea time. When you say tea time, I think of dinner time because a lot of us here say tea for dinner. It depends where you're from in England if you say tea. But if I say, oh, what's for tea? I mean, what is for dinner? So tea time would be dinner time. But I think you mean tea time. So Cunard has to win for the afternoon tea at least. It is brilliant. It is very, very fancy. I will say, I think we did an afternoon tea on Queen Mary too. It was very kind of squished in compared to the afternoon tea I did on Queen Victoria. But they have Twinings tea, which is very, very nice. Lots of little cakes, scones, or however you want to say it. I'm going to say it scones. Yeah, it's hard for me when you're talking about what makes good tea because I drink peppermint tea. Like it's really hard to mess up peppermint tea. Paul says, what is the best P&O ship? So I've cruised on one of the oldest P&O ships and the newest, and they're very different, very, very different. So it depends what you want. If you're cruising with kids, you're going to want Iona, you're going to want Arvia, you're going to want one of the newer ships. If you're cruising and you don't want kids, you want a more relaxing cruise. Like I did a Christmas cruise last year on Ventura. That was amazing for that. So they all have their, oh, hi, Hudson. They have their own benefits, but I have Iona and Ventura content on my channel. Also Britannia, if you scroll back many years on my channel. Are you cruising from Tilbury? Yes, I've cruised from Tilbury before actually, which is interesting. London Tilbury is a cruise port. Jim says, Emma, can you ask your cruise agent to find a cruise that hits the port you want to visit or a range you want to spend? Oh yeah, or do you have to research the land yourself? Absolutely, that is the point of a travel agent. You know, I see all of the requests come in and the level of detail. Some will say, I want this cruise, this cabin, this date. And some people will say, I just need to get away for Christmas. I've got this week off work. Somewhere warm would be nice. You know, that is the point. That is the point of a travel agent. And they have so much in their brains. Emma and every other travel agent, they know when new ships are launching, where they're going to be. I don't know how they keep it all, you know, in their heads, but that is the point of an agent. Yeah, if you just want inspiration, that's totally fine. Totally fine. Totally fine. And thank you for the super chat, by the way, Jim. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Mark says, do you find that airfare packages with cruise fare is cheaper than booking airfare separately? Looking at it for Oceania. This isn't going to help you, but I think it's about 50-50. Some cruise lines, yes. So I took an MSC cruise recently. The flights alone were more expensive than my Cruise Plus flights because MSC had chartered that flight. So if a cruise line like Marella, they charter a lot of their flights, they might take a full airplane, they might do half a plane. If it's that kind of situation, they might as well have you on the plane, if that makes sense. But if you're booking through a cruise line and they're just booking you on British Airways anyway, they're just booking you whatever airline they like, in that situation, it's not cheaper. So it's worth definitely getting the quotes for both and seeing what the difference is. Because sometimes it can save you loads, and sometimes it can save you nothing. Sometimes it can be more expensive. Owen says, "Do you have any update on the Hudson plushie?" Hudson, do we have an update? Yes, we do. So I designed this plushie. It's Captain Hudson. It's like Hudson. It's a little cat toy. It has Captain Hudson on the hat, like a little sailor hat, a little neckerchief that says Emma Cruises on it, and it's adorable. And really want to see is these Captain Hudsons. He knows I'm talking about him. These Captain Hudsons going out into the world and to see the pictures. Captain Hudson went to, Miami. Captain Hudson went, oh, it'd be so cool. So the plan is to launch these plushies, and because of the way it works, I'm not about to store hundreds of plushies in my house. Nah, not doing that. So I'm doing it through a company, and it's kind of like we have to get a certain number of sales before they're made. If we don't sell enough, they'll never be in existence, which is good. But I really want to sell the amount that we have to do. So I've decided that the money is going to go to charity. We're going to do it for Mercy Ships. They're a brilliant charity. Basically, what they do is they take ships, they fill them with volunteer doctors and surgeons and nurses and everything they need. They sail around and they do surgeries on people in places that they don't have access to healthcare. I'm hoping that the plushies will only be around $15 each, so it's not massively expensive. But that is the plan. So I had all of these manufacturing drawings done. The sample was created. It was on its way to me. And then I got an update that said someone had requested it to be disposed of, was the tracking link. And I was like, what happened to Hudson? He got destroyed. Why? It turns out it was the manufacturer. They recalled him. They hadn't sent everything. And I need everything to be perfect for me to sign it off. So it should be here when I come back from this cruise, which would be really cool. But that is the plan. That is the plan. It looks so cool. It looks so cool. If you want to see, I did put a post on my YouTube, on my Facebook, on my Twitter. If you just scroll back a little while, you'll see them. But that's the plan. So hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. I really want one of those stuffies. Oh, yes, me too. Oh my goodness. I'm really looking forward to it. It's so cute. Next question is, let's see, what is the next question? Oh my goodness, so many questions, so many questions. I don't know where to begin. George says, do you need an adult in each cabin if you book adjoining cabins? Usually, yes, but you just go in the other cabins. Not that I'm suggesting that you do that, but normally, yes, you'll need to have an adult booked in each cabin. But once you close those doors, no one is going to know where you sleep. Like, you have a adjoining tour, doesn't matter. Some funny questions in here today. Tom says, do cruise lines run Black Friday deals? They do, yes. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're good deals, though, or that they're better than deals that you'd get at other times of the year. I do know people who've kind of tracked cruises. The price goes up, it comes down for Black Friday, the same way it does for all other things. So here in the UK, at least, the what we call wave season, when most people book their cruises, most cruise lines have their sales, is January to March, because everyone gets through Christmas is exciting, and then we're stuck with like the dark days and the rain, and everyone starts thinking about going to the Caribbean. So they do run sales. Sometimes they're good. I will say sometimes they have good kind of discounts on if you've already booked a cruise and then you're going to buy like a drinks package. Sometimes those sales are good, but don't just think, oh, this has Black Friday sale on it, that means it's a good deal, because it doesn't. Does not always. Did you go on Carnival Ecstasy? No, I've only taken one Carnival cruise on the Carnival Magic, and that was very, very recently. Very, very recently. Will there be different menus each day in the main dining room on an 11-night cruise? Usually, yes. Yes, normally. Sometimes after a week, they will start to go back around, but normally, yes. I would say mostly yes. Mostly yes. At least for a week. At least for a week. Where do Mercy ships leave from? They have 2 ships at the moment. One of them's in Africa, and one of them, I can't remember where the other one was, but it is somewhere. And the ships are new as well. I kind of thought before I heard about this charity that they would take older ships, but they just designed a new ship. It's really cool. Really, really cool. My mum is here, but eating tea. Exactly. That's what I said. I just said that tea sometimes means dinner, and now we have a perfect example of it. Bert says, where did you get the map on the wall behind you? If you go on my website, type in map, I have the full guide to this, where I got it from, what size it is, what colors, every question, because I get a lot of questions about it. And it's very, very cool. It is actually 3D. You can't really tell because of the way that I'm sat there. Or just search Emma Cruises map on Google and it'll come up. Normally I have it in the description, but it doesn't come up on these live streams until I go and add it in. So yes. Why don't you do vlog type videos rather than the talk over videos? I did. If you scroll back, if you go way back on my channel, years and years and years, I started doing the like day one vlogs. That's like my Britannia videos. I don't enjoy making that type of content. I don't really watch that type of content unless it's my friends that I know. So the way I make my videos now is I imagine, say I'm going to meet my friends in the pub after coming back from a cruise. What would I tell them? That's exactly what my videos are. I wouldn't kind of meet my friends in the pub and say, here's day 1, 20 minutes. Here's day 2, 20 minutes. Here's day 3, 20 minutes. It just doesn't work for me because I'm also cruising. My family and my friends don't want to be in the videos. So it's so nice to see, like, I watch a lot of the Cruise Monkey stuff. I watch Paul and Carol stuff because they have other people to interact with. Cruise Boys too, of course. You have people to interact with, and that's more fun in a vlog, And I just don't ever want to be the person sitting in a buffet eating a sausage, like a vegetarian sausage, of course, but I don't want to be reacting to that. Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't find that fun. Ooh, interesting about mercy ships. Yeah, don't know. Yes, thank you, Jackie. Thank you. I always get this. I get comments that say, "Oh, this question's been asked so many times." Like the most common questions I get are, "Have you been to Alaska? Are you going to Antarctica?" And I don't think they've been asked too many times because I don't expect people to come to these live streams and sit for an hour and like take notes. That's just ridiculous. Yes. Ooh, Francisco says, when the Hudson action figure comes out, action figure sounds cool. The Hudson plushie toy. I don't think he's quite an action figure. He has got, I did make sure that he had little pink toe beans on his feet, which is very, very cute. But will you be adding colored pins to the map where Hudson visits? That's a very good idea. I hadn't thought about that. That would be very cool. I get a lot of comments though being like, is that where you've been? But maybe that's a good idea. I think maybe we will do that. Will you sail on Icon of the Seas in 2024? Maybe. I don't know. I don't normally book cruises that far in advance, and it looks amazing. Not cheap though, of course, not cheap because Icon of the Seas. Oh, Husband's taken himself out now. Oh, Claire says, is health travel insurance enough if it includes trip cancellation, or should you purchase Cruise 9 travel protection? If your travel insurance does not say cruise, it is useless to you on a cruise. It is useless. Even if you try and claim for your cancelled cruise, you're not going to get it. Let alone you go on there, you break your leg, you need to be airlifted off, and it bankrupts you. So yes, if it doesn't say cruise, it is not worth anything. You need to get cruise travel insurance. Yes. I feel like I talked so much about this, but people have literally died because they don't have travel insurance on cruises. So yes, do not risk it. Oh, I see. It's funny when I don't see questions, but I see other people answering the questions, which is brilliant. It makes me realize how much you guys know about me. Like, I can do trivia on myself. I can say, how old was Emma on her first cruise? All vote now. And like, you guys all know, which is so cool. So cool. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for your questions. It's making my eyes load. Have you ever felt unsafe on a cruise? No, never on a cruise. Nuh-uh. I think cruises are one of the safest ways to travel because you're always surrounded by other people. There's crew everywhere. There's CCTV. Yes. Oh my goodness, my comments just loaded. Jackie says 11. Jonathan says 11. Natalie says 11. I think 11 is the answer. Well done. Oh my gosh. Oh, 10 or 9. Oh no, so close. I was 11. Yes. An Alaskan cruise with Norwegian. 11. You guys, 11? 11? Paid for by my grandmother. Oh my goodness. Yes. You know everything about this. That is so funny. That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah, you could go bankrupt if you're seriously hurt on a cruise ship with no insurance. You don't even have to be seriously hurt. I don't know if you've ever seen recently on my Norwegian cruise, there was a price list for the things that you need to get done. Even if you need CPR, oh my gosh, so expensive. My mum says 11 years and 5 months. Mum wins. But you did very well. Oh my gosh. Thank you for my super chat. Can you do a video on the yacht club on MSC, please? I would like to, as a kind of entryway to like a exclusive first class kind of cruise experience. I have been in the yacht club just for dinner before, but I've never stayed in the yacht club. Never say never, but it would have to be a good deal. There are good deals though on it, so maybe. Thank you for my super chat. Emily, have you ever been on a cruise that rescued anyone from the water, refugees or man overboard? No, I've been on a cruise where someone went overboard, but they were never found. So, nope. What are your opinions on P&O? I think P&O are a brilliant family cruise line, a very chilled out cruise line. That said, I mean the newer ships, not the older ships. The older ones are less focused on children, but I think they're very kind of middle range. Like the food is pretty good, the entertainment's pretty good, the ships are some of my favorite. I own as my favorite inside cabin of all time, and the prices are very good. Will the trivia live streams ever come back? Also, because I wasn't sure how old you were, I put MSC as my default answer to your age question. I see. I don't think trivia live streams will ever come back. This is something I started doing during the pandemic. March of 2020, we started doing those live streams, and we did them for well over a year, but they get less views than my normal videos. People unsubscribe from them at like a horrendous rate. So it doesn't make sense for me to do them. Plus, it took me so long to think of these questions. If you think I've been doing cruise trivia for like a year, I had done everything I could think of, so it was hard. No trivia. Nuh-uh. Nope. What is considered the best area to stay on a ship? Have you done a video on this? I think I talk about this in every cabin video I make, because for me, the best area is the cheapest area. That's it. Every person has a different idea of best. If you're wanting best as in the least movement, and price doesn't matter, in the middle, low down, there we go. But you're not going to get great views there. So if you're someone who wants to see, you want views at the back of the ship, then the back is the best. It's so hard to describe best because everyone has a different best. For me, it is the cheapest. So there we go. Oh, I don't know what's going on in the comments, but it's making my mum's brain hurt. Do you have any US cruises planned soon? No. I don't know why that was so hard to say. No, I don't. But I just got back from New York very, very recently. Took my first Carnival cruise. If you've not seen the Carnival content, please check that out because it was so much fun. So much fun. It was crazy. Yeah, Lisa says difficult to find cruise-specific insurance in Canada. Your links apply to the UK and US. They won't insure Canadians. Yeah, you need a Canadian specific, but it is hard. Yes, that's why I haven't added it to my post because I don't know. I need someone in Canada to help me out with that. Really. Yeah, some princess does not exist yet. Not yet. Looks cool though. Looks very cool. Any opinions on Norwegian's new tip policy? So I'm assuming this is to do with Norwegian increasing their gratuities price again. I don't remember what it increased to. It's quite high. It's always been some of the higher end on the industry. I don't look at it. When I book a cruise, I tick the gratuities box and I pay it as soon as I do it. Like when I'm considering a cruise, I'm ticking that box. To me, that's part of the cruise fare. I wish they would just include it, but they don't. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's very expensive. It is expensive. Are you watching The Traitors? I've never heard of that, so nope, I'm not. But maybe I will. I'm currently watching Dark because I finished watching 1899, the one set on the ocean liner, and Dark is supposed to be the same, so I'm watching that at the minute. David says, Emma, you got me to try Carnival. Interesting. Oh, Michelle says we use To Go in Canada. Interesting. I will have a look at it. I will have a look. Sue says, have you cruised to the Caribbean? And if so, any tips for going on Arvia in 5 weeks' time? I have. I have done an Eastern, Western, and Southern Caribbean cruises, and they're all very, very different. So it depends where you're going in the Caribbean as far as tips go. So I'd kind of need more information on that. But Caribbean cruises are fantastic. It's the most popular cruise destination in the world. It's something like 30% of cruises are in the Caribbean. So yeah, very, very cool. Have you guys seen there's this new technology that you would do to a live stream, so it would make my eyes look at the camera the whole time, even though I'm looking down here at the screen? It's creepy. It's good though. It is good. Amy says, assume Don from Don Family Vacations would be a good resource for Canadian insurance. I mean, he's a travel agent in Canada, yes. But yeah. Brian says, what other cruise sites do you use other than Vacations to Go? So if I'm getting ideas, Vacations to Go is my favorite site. It's a US site. I wouldn't necessarily recommend booking through it, but as far as ideas go, it's fantastic. I'll also look at the big kind of UK cruise lines. So there's cruise.co.uk, Cruise 118, Igloo Cruise, Planet Cruise. There's so many. That's where I'll get my ideas from. But yeah. Most of them are pretty similar. Yeah, it seems on a cruise, I don't have enough time to do everything I want to do. I'm a very active person. Any tips? It does feel like that sometimes on cruises. There's never enough time to do what you want to do. I would suggest if you book a cruise itinerary that has multiple days in port, quite a lot do that. On my Azamara cruise, we spent 2 days in Nice. It was amazing. That will give you some more time. So, yes. But even still, then you'll miss out on other things because there's only so much time. Any wise words of wisdom? Thank you for thinking I have wise words of wisdom. For a solo cruiser on a budget, specifically Norwegian Cruise Line to Alaska. Amazing. Norwegian Cruise Line are fantastic for solo cruisers. They have these amazing solo lounges, amazing solo cabins, and it's very, very cool. If you're going to do that, if you're going to cruise with Norwegian solo, you have to go to the solo meetups. And I understand that seems a bit scary. Like on my Princess cruise, I went to the 18 to 30 meetup. No one was there. But I did try. But on the solo meetups on Norwegian, they're very, very popular. They'll have people playing games and getting to know each other. And it always looks fun. It looks really cool. So make sure that you go to those events. I'm sure they have extra information about that, if you do book a solo cabin. But it seems cool. And I would want to do that earlier on in the cruise, as soon as possible, I think. Oh, my comments are jumping around. Where am I? Oh, Connie says, for themed cruises, are all cabins sold only through the theme sites? Can I book the Doctor Who cruise on Wonder through Royal? It depends on how the cruise line's done it, because sometimes they'll charter a ship and sometimes they'll just put it on themselves. So if it's run through Royal, then yes. If it's the case that a different company has chartered the cruise, they've got full control of it, then you'll have to go through them. But sometimes they'll charter a cruise, not sell it, and then they'll sell the rest of it through the original cruise line. So it's a bit confusing. It is a bit confusing. Can I join the MSC Voyagers Club if I booked through a travel agent? Does that count? Yes. If you book through a travel agent, you still get all your loyalty points. You can still use Cruise Next certificates. You still get onboard credit. You still get shareholders benefits. There's nothing that you miss. You still get everything the same. You still get a booking number with the cruise line. You just have someone else doing all of the talking and stuff for you. So yes. Thank you for my super chat. Yawning from my bed. It's 1:42 a.m. in Western Australia. Oh my goodness. Hello, Western Australia. That is very, very cool. I had an Australian friend on my live stream last week, which is why we had to move it slightly earlier. But you have a lot of time zones. It's very confusing. But yes, I suppose you're getting ready for a warm Christmas. Cool. Very, very cool. I'd love to go and do a not cold Christmas one year. That would be fun. For us, it's all about Christmas jumpers and snowmen and stuff like that. How hard is it to meet people on a cruise? It is as hard or as easy as you want. If you don't want to talk to anybody at all throughout your entire cruise, really, really easy. If you want to meet people, if you go to things like game shows, if you go to things like trivia, if you go to dinner and you request a table share, then you've met people. You don't have to really put in that much work to do it. And people on a cruise normally seem just friendly and nice to me anyway, because you're all kind of doing the same thing. So it's not that weird to talk to other people on a cruise. Unless you don't want to, then you absolutely don't have to. Yeah, there's a Doctor Who cruise. I don't know. Is there a Doctor Who cruise? I don't know. It sounds cool though. It sounds cool. How are P&O for solo traveling? Not. It's not one that jumps to mind for solo cruises, but I know that on Britannia they do have solo balcony cabins, which is not something normally the solo cabins have. Normally, solo cabins are like right in the middle, so that's cool. But I've seen solo meetups on the schedule on P&O cruises, but I think that's it. So middly, like okay, not the best, not the worst. That helps. Balcony versus ocean view for cruising to the Norwegian fjords. Is the balcony worth the extra? This goes very against everything I say because I'm very much team inside cabin. Don't spend money on your cabin, whatever. Norway, yes. Book the balcony if you can. It is absolutely beautiful. It is the best. It is the best. And the thing is it's not like, you know, if I go to cruises in Northern Europe, we're going to Bruges, we're going to Hamburg, you dock in these industrial ports, you're surrounded by shipping containers. There's nothing to see when you sail in, there's nothing to see when you sail away. It's dark all the time. It's just pointless, as far as I think, for balconies. If you're cruising in Norway, your sailing is going to be hours. Your sail out is going to be hours, and you want to be sat there watching it. So, yeah, even I booked a balcony when I took a cruise to Norway with Royal Caribbean in May. It wasn't too expensive, which is why I booked it, of course. But yes, oh, it's beautiful. Sean says, "Can we reach 700 viewers?" Oh my goodness, we've got quite a lot in here today. Hello to everybody who is watching this. Often when I get off of these live streams, people will send me pictures of, you know, me on their TV or me in their, you know, their cats are watching it, and it's so cool, but it's so weird to me. It's so strange because every time I go on a cruise, I meet people. Okay, I meet some of you, like a small amount of you, and then in my brain, I think I'm just putting everybody who I've ever met is the people who are watching these videos. Does that make sense? So as I go through, I build up the, you know, I recognize people's names, I build up their faces, but I can't. If I couldn't do a presentation to 6 people, let alone 680. I'm not good at public speaking. I turn down, you know, any invites to do it. But, you know, also I know who you are, so that's cool. And we've built a good community in here. Yeah, Alaska cruise, that is the same. Yes, that is the same. I haven't been to Alaska since I was 11 years old, so I didn't do much planning for that cruise. But I really want to get back there. Hopefully I'll get back there next year. That's one thing I would really like to do. Do you work out in the gym on a cruise? Nuh-uh. So I used to go to the gym. I used to go to the gym 4 days a week for a long time, for years. And then the pandemic happened. I quit my gym, of course. My gym was where I used to work at the office. I quit because I wasn't going to go. And I never went back. And I don't miss it in the slightest. And when I'm on a cruise, I don't want to go to the gym. There's so many more things. You're like, I would prefer to wander around the promenade deck 6 times, done 2 miles, rather than go on the treadmill. So, no. Sometimes gym classes. I enjoy like Zumba and stuff. We did the 80s workout class on Virgin Voyages. That was really fun. But the actual gym, I cannot motivate myself. I find it so boring. So, yeah. It's only the staff working out. Yeah. They like to advertise their big gyms and stuff, don't they? But yeah, how much they actually get used. Sometimes they're really busy though. I'm not saying no one goes in the gym. Sometimes they are. Oh my goodness. I could just sit here and just watch the comments go by. It's so fast. Jeremy says, your subscriber count is skyrocketing. Oh, thanks so much. Lots of people are watching. Yes. It's crazy how YouTube works because obviously it took me, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years to get 1,000 subscribers. It took a lot of work. And then it took maybe another year to get 4,000, 5,000. And then it goes like this because the more videos you have, I've got 500 videos. People are watching my videos right now. Which is so weird, but it's kind of just an exponential thing that goes like that. At some point it will flatten off or go down. It's not going to go off forever, but crazy. Oh, the chat says to say something, so something. That works perfectly. Thank you so much. Smash the like button. Yeah, if you can. That'll be very cool. Do cruises have any rules on personal vlogging on board? No and yes. There's certain places where you're not allowed to film, like in the casino, you're not allowed to film normally. Depends on the cruise line, but normally you're not allowed to film. And obviously, you don't want to film in people's faces. You don't want to film people who are swimming. You don't want to film kids. That's just don't do that. There's not really rules though. I think unless you caused people noticed you, unless you caused something, people are not going to look at you. I try and think about it like, obviously I get a lot of comments on my videos like, oh, this cruise ship's so quiet. It's not. I just don't want to show you when everyone's here. I'll wait till people leave. But the way I think about it is, if I'm filming the theater, there's a big group of people, or the pool, and there's a big group of people, and you can see the back of people's heads, but you're not really going to pick out one person, I think that's okay. When it comes to certain things like, my carnival cruise, a lot of people would be like proper twerking, like dancing and stuff. And just because they're doing that, it doesn't mean that I can film that and put that on the internet for hundreds and thousands of people to see. That is not cool. So if you can if it's one person who's in a shot and they can be recognized, I'm not comfortable putting that on the internet, and I don't. If it's you know, people in the theater, just little, you might recognize yourself, but it's not going to be shared around the internet like, oh my gosh, look at what this lady did. Because I don't think that's cool. So yeah, I just try and be, yeah, of course there'll be people upset if you film them. Yes, I mean, same. I wouldn't want someone to film me when I'm eating, or if someone filmed me when I was in the pool, that is not cool. That is not cool. So yes, I totally get that. I try and just wait until most people have left, or until they're, like background background characters. How many US based cruise lines have you been on? Oh, cruise lines. This is tricky because Carnival own almost all the cruise lines. Are we counting them? I don't know. But I've done Royal Caribbean, I've done Norwegian, I've done Carnival, I've done Virgin Voyages, and if we get into the ones owned by Carnival, we like Princess, done Celebrity. Yeah, it's tricky, tricky. Best response ever. I don't remember what I was responding to, but thank you. I appreciate it. What do you use for editing your videos? So I started for a couple of years on iMovie, the free iMovie, totally fine for what I needed. I got to a point where I wanted to do more things than it allowed, so I moved over to Final Cut Pro. That's a paid thing to do, and I've just moved to DaVinci. I thought, it takes me 3 or 4 days to edit a video, solid days, evenings, weekends, and I thought I want to be able to do this faster because it's not the best way that I'm doing it. I don't know that much about it. So I thought, to make this better, I'm going to scrap everything I know, start again. And that's what I've done recently. So my last couple of videos have been on DaVinci, and I'm getting there with it. I think it's going to be faster in the long term. But even the free version of DaVinci is amazing. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. So yeah, DaVinci is great. Oh, good. We got some DaVinci fans. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've kind of just, I never studied editing or presenting. I did a maths degree. This is, I'm making up as I go along. But it makes sense for me to kind of learn more. So I think it'll be better in the long term. What is the best cruise you've ever been on? Singapore to Tokyo, Golden Princess. Answer done. Imagine if I answered every question like that. Just like I have an answer. I don't normally have just a straight answer for everything. Oh, David says color grading in DaVinci is a treat. I have not a clue how to color grade anything. Not a clue. But don't give me more stuff, like more time to do. Oh. Julian says, do cruises stay overnight at any ports? Yes, some cruise lines do. Celebrity do quite a bit. Azamara do. It tends to be the more luxurious cruises that stay longer, I think, because it costs a lot of money to dock a cruise ship in the place. And also the kind of, if you're taking a cruise with MSC, like a very cheap, or Carnival, like a cheap cruise line, your cruise fare is cheap because they want you to be on the ship and they want you to be in the casino. They want you to be drinking. They want you to be spending money on board. So if you cruise with a more luxurious cruise line, they don't mind. They're not trying to make their money in the casino. Azamara don't have a casino. So hope that makes sense. My gosh. Does Hudson get the zoomies when you get back from a trip? Well, it depends. If it is just me who's gone away, he doesn't even care that I'm gone or I've come back. Sad to say it, but I'm not his favorite parent. If Jono comes away with me, he has an auntie. He has an auntie who stays and looks after him. And he does miss us then, I think, but he doesn't mind. He's always got the zoomies though. Always got the zoomies. What is the best cruise line for vegetarian food? It is Azamara. They have a vegan menu with like 5 starters, 5 mains, 5 desserts, and it changes every single day because vegetarians don't just want to eat stuffed peppers. No, 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 no. What happens when your luggage misses the ship? Oh, that's a tricky one. Normally, well, it depends where you are, what the cruise itinerary is. Sometimes it will follow you, so it may meet you later in the cruise. Sometimes it will never meet you, but it happens. I do have a friend who took a river cruise. Their luggage got lost, and they were given like an emergency kit of stuff, and it had a one-size-fits-all pair of pants, and like the UK pants, underpants, not trousers, pants. One size fits all, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. Do you follow other cruise vloggers? Yes, so many, so many. I have over many years collected many people who I subscribe to, and I try and keep up with things. It's hard to create content and also consume content, but I have plenty of channels that I do. Buy air tags. Yes, I love my air tags. I have air tags in my suitcases always. Yes. Matt says 5 minutes left. Oh my goodness, Matt. Oh. You know, questions like this, I completely forget what I've just answered. So what do you do? I don't remember what I asked, what the question was, because I have to think so fast on these. I don't have time to sort of, I don't know, until afterwards. I'm like, oh, I said that. Did the pants fit them though? I think so. Yeah, I think they did. But yes. My goodness, my goodness. Thank you so much for your questions. I'm sorry that I cannot get to every single one, but it just goes so fast. If you have a question for me and you want me to answer it, if you join as a member down here or you join my Patreon, every single week I do a podcast and I answer every single question in detail in the podcast. So that's like a guaranteed way to get an answer from me. But I try my best to answer as many as I can here. What type of what? Ooh. What type of travel insurance do you use besides the cruise insurance? I just have cruise insurance for cruises. That's all. That's all you need. I mean, I have an annual policy that covers me, my business, me to cruise, me to go on land. Expensive one, really, but it's worth it for me. I've been impartial on cruises because I feel like I'd be rushed on the trip, but I've been rethinking. Should I risk a cruise? Yes, of course you should. Of course you should. I think a cruise can be as rushed as you want or as relaxed as you want, and some cruises are very, very relaxing. Sometimes you'll have sea days with there's nothing you have to do all day, which is amazing. And sometimes if you stay in port multiple days, you can just wander off when you like. You can come back, easy peasy. The lost luggage question. I haven't had my luggage lost. I've got my air tags in it, so I'm tracking it all the time. It is such a relief when you land in a plane and you refresh your AirTag app and it says in Germany, assuming I'm in Germany. It's like, oh, thank goodness, thank goodness. Do you think MSC is going to step up its food game? I don't think it needs to step up its food game. I think if you asked me this in 2012, absolutely they need to step up their food game. But there's a dramatic difference between 2012 MSC food and now. It's not gourmet food. You have paid about £30 per night for the cruise, so it's not going to be. But I have more choice as a vegetarian on an MSC cruise than a Norwegian cruise or a Royal Caribbean cruise even. So it depends what you like, My last couple of MSC cruises, the food's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. If you watch whatever my last MSC video was, MSC Preziosa, that was pretty recent, I talk more about the food and I show the food through all my MSC cruises. I've cruised with MSC 5 times. 5 times. Wow. Oh my gosh, these comments go so fast. We did it. We got over 700. Oh my goodness. If you're not normally in these live streams and you've just come today, let me know where you heard about this. Did YouTube tell you about it? because that's really cool. Okay, I said over 700 and now 6 people left. Of course. That's how YouTube works. But it is almost time. It is the end of this live stream. My goodness, this has gone so fast. Thank you so much to everybody for joining me. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comments. As always, I just appreciate you being here. So I will have already been on my next cruise when we get back. It's just a very, very short cruise. Thank you so much for my last minute super chat. Showing how we Inside Cabin Cruisers do it. Yes, Team Inside for the win, and the haircut is fire. Thank you so much. It's an interesting one, but we're nearly there. I think it almost looks, happy with it now. So thank you so much. This live stream is normally every week. Yeah, it's normally the same time, unless I'm, on a cruise somewhere I don't have internet. Then I will not do the stream, of course. But yes, thank you so much everybody for this. This is really cool. Yes. 700. Okay, cool. Awesome. So much. I will see you next week, having been on Ambassador, the newest cruise line that just launched last May, on a ship that was on the way to the scrapyard. Like, it turned around from the scrapyard. So we'll see if that should have happened or not. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Brian. That's very kind. Thank you, Ryan, Bill. Thank you, everybody. I will see you soon. Bye.